Conflicts in your story, obstacles to overcome. You know, I'm going to talk about another one of the seven elements to a great story, and that's conflict. Now, there are two basic types of conflict there's external conflicts, and then there's internal conflicts. Now, in a story, an external conflict exists between a character and something else, and is typically outside of the character's total control. But it must be resolved during whatever action is happening. Now, most of us have experienced external conflicts in one way or another. We experience conflicts when it comes to our family. And most often, those conflicts exist in family gatherings where we've held on to a feeling or we didn't say something that we wanted to say before, and we get together and then the explosion happens. And then we have our conflicts that exist between our friends when either we're telling them something or they're telling us something that we don't want to hear. And we can even know that it's coming from a good place, and they can know it's coming from a good place, but they're not ready to receive it. It can cause great conflict. And then you have the conflicts on your job, especially when it is between a subordinate and a superior. And a lot of us have experienced that. And that's tricky because there's only so much that a subordinate can say or do. They don't have the power. And so a lot of times those conflicts can go unresolved. And then you have your conflicts regarding a situation. Whatever is going on in the situation, you may have one way or you want to solve it, and another person that's equally involved may see it a whole different way. And you have a conflict about how you want to handle it, how you want to resolve the conflict. Now, there are several things that's suggested. One is communicate. It's important that we communicate about what the conflict is, that we understand the elements of the conflict. And then we understand the other person's point of view, and we hope that they understand ours. But we don't tell them our point of view without also being willing to collaborate and listen to what their point of view is in how to handle and resolve the situation. And it's going to take compromise. We're going to have to come to the table knowing that everybody involved needs to feel like they're getting something while they're giving something. The other type of conflict is internal conflict. Now, internal conflict in a story occurs when a character struggles with something within themselves. And resolving internal conflicts allows the character to develop in a dynamic way. Now, most of us wrestle with internal conflicts. We wrestle between, what's right and what's wrong, saying yes versus saying no. We wrestle internally all the time. And now there are several different types of internal conflicts. There's the moral conflict. Now that's the conflict that has a lot to do with our beliefs. And when what we do or say is contrary to what we believe, oftentimes we'll experience that moral conflict. And then you have your conflict that's religious type of conflict. Now, this is a very fragile conflict to have because a lot of times we want to feel and believe that our religious beliefs is the right and only way, and not taking into consideration that there are many types of religions out there, and everybody that has a religious belief believes that theirs is the right way, and it may be the right way for them. But we struggle and we have a conflict when we want to put our beliefs place them on somebody else. And when they're not as receptive, then it causes great turmoil within us, great conflict, and it is incredibly, incredibly fragile. And then you have your love conflicts. Now, with love conflicts, these are the conflicts that happen when you love a person dearly, but you know that what you're about to say or do is going to hurt them. Now, whether it is for their good, that what you're doing and what you're saying is going to be for their benefit, or whether it is not for their good and it is for your own self gratification and you're choosing to say and do it anyway. Now, those love conflicts can have serious repercussions that can oftentimes end or threaten to end a relationship. And then you have your self image conflicts. Now, these are the most common kinds of internal conflicts that we have. And we wrestle between what we view ourselves as versus what somebody else views us as. And a lot of times, when somebody is sharing something that they think about us, a lot of times, we can eat the meat and throw the bones away. We can say, no, I know this about me, and I don't accept your input. And especially when you know it's not coming from a good place and the person does not have your best interest in mind. However, if it is well constructed, constructive criticism, then those are the criticisms that you might want to take a minute, think about, and listen. And with internal conflicts that evolve around our self-image, we can oftentimes feel 2 inches tall because we're allowing somebody else's view of us to substitute our own. Now, there are ways that suggested that we deal with internal conflicts, and one is that we communicate with ourselves, speak truth to ourselves. And if what is being said is coming from a good place and a good person and the intent is well and it is a well constructed constructive criticism, then we need to take a minute and we need to really think about accepting what is being said and thinking about ways that we can make changes or adjustments. And then we need to think about what our options are. If change is necessary, what do we need to do to make those changes possible to the betterment of ourselves? And then we need to take action. We need to act upon whatever it is we decide, whether we're accepting or not. We need to make a decision and we need to act upon it. And then finally, we need to get support. Get support from big picture people. Get support from people who know you, love you, see you, have your best interest in mind, and can help you make those adjustments that may be necessary. So think about the types of conflicts that exist in your life story and how you might make changes or adjustments to them. Take time. Think about it.